Hello, my friend, and welcome. Are you feeling cozy and ready for a story? I am so glad you're here. Today, we have a very special tale to share. It's all about a little rabbit named Fei Fei, a rabbit with the longest, softest, most wonderful floppy ears you have ever imagined, and a heart full of courage. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a big train? Maybe you've even ridden on one. You feel that gentle rock back and forth and hear the chugga-chugga-chugga of the wheels on the track. Well, the little rabbit in our story today, Fei Fei, he loves trains more than anything else in the entire world. Let's find out just why they are so magical to him. Our story starts in a beautiful, big, green field. Can you picture it? The grass is so green and so soft, it feels just like a fluffy carpet under your feet. And in this field, under the warm yellow sun, lives a whole family of happy, twitchy-nosed rabbits. They spend their days hopping and playing and nibbling on sweet clover. Now, almost every single rabbit in that field absolutely loves to dig. It's their favorite thing to do. They use their strong little paws to dig down into the soft earth, creating wonderful, warm, safe homes called burrows. But our Fei Fei was a little different. Oh yes, he had absolutely no interest in digging. While his brothers and sisters were busy making tunnels, Fei Fei would just sit, wiggle his long ears, and dream. His dream wasn't underground. It was out in the big, wide world. He dreamt of riding a big train. Every single morning, just as the sun was peeking over the hills, Fei Fei had a secret routine. He would creep to the very edge of the big green field, hide behind a tall sunflower, and wait. And then he would hear it, a low rumble at first, hong long, that grew louder and louder. And then, whoosh! A magnificent big red train would speed by on the silver tracks. Fei Fei would watch, completely mesmerized as the windows flashed by. He wondered, who is on that train? Where are they all going? The sound of the wheels, a steady, quang-long, clickety-clack, sounded to Fei Fei like a promise of adventure, a song about faraway places he could only dream of. Well, after many mornings of just watching and dreaming, one sunny day, Fei Fei decided something. He decided he was tired of just watching. He was ready for an adventure of his own. He took a big, deep rabbit breath, puffed out his chest, and whispered to a little ladybug passing by, "Today is the day. Today I am going to ride that train." And as if by magic, just a little way past the field, the big red train slowed down and came to a stop with a gentle hiss. This was his chance. Fei Fei's heart started beating thump, thump, thump inside his chest. He tiptoed out from behind the sunflower, his long ears pointed forward, listening for any sound. It was quiet. He hopped closer and closer until he was right next to a giant wheel. He looked up and saw an open door to one of the train cars. Gathering up every last bit of his courage, he took a mighty leap and swoosh! He was as light as a feather. He landed softly, without a sound, inside the empty train car. He did it. He was on the train. Oh, the excitement Fei Fei felt! With a lurch and a chug, the train started to move. Fei Fei peeked his little nose over the edge of a window. The world started to rush by in a blur of green fields and blue sky. He saw trees waving their branches and lakes sparkling like diamonds. He felt the wind rushing past his long ears. Wow, he thought to himself, his whole body wiggling with happiness. I must be the bravest, most adventurous rabbit in the whole wide world. He felt so proud. But just as he was enjoying that wonderful feeling, something happened. Something very unexpected. The happy rumble of the train suddenly changed. Without any warning at all, the train plunged forward, and all the bright, warm sunlight disappeared. It was like a door slamming shut on the day. Fei Fei found himself in the middle of a great big challenge. Everything went dark. I mean, so dark that you couldn't even see your own nose if you tried to cross your eyes to look at it. The train had gone into a long, dark tunnel. It was a deep, inky blackness, a kind of dark Fei Fei had never known before. He looked down, but he couldn't see his paws. He tried to see his long, proud ears, but he couldn't see them either. He was all alone in the dark, and he started to feel very small and very scared. His brave little heart started to beat like a fast drum again. Thump, 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 thump. Just when Fei Fei thought things couldn't possibly get any scarier, a terrible sound ripped through the darkness. The train let out a long, loud, screeching squeak! It was a horrible metal-on-metal sound that made Fei Fei's long ears hurt. And then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped, and the tunnel fell completely silent. The happy clickety-clack was gone. There was just nothing. A deep, dark quiet that felt even scarier than the noise. Fei Fei was so scared he was trembling from the tip of his nose to the fluff of his tail. But then he remembered his dream. He remembered how badly he wanted to ride this train. "I can't just be scared," he whispered into the darkness. "I have to be brave." And right there, in that moment, surrounded by the deep dark, Fei Fei discovered something absolutely amazing about himself. He realized that even though his eyes couldn't see a single thing, his long, floppy ears, well, they could. Not with light, of course, but with sound. In the total darkness, his ears felt extra powerful. It was like they had turned into a super-powered detector. Fei Fei had a superpower he never even knew about. So Fei Fei closed his eyes, even though it was already dark. He wanted to focus everything on listening. He pointed his ears straight up, like two giant antennas, turning them this way and that. He listened past the sound of his own thumping heart. And then he heard it. It was a very, very small sound, a tiny little whoosh, a soft whisper of air. He turned his ears toward it. Whoosh! He realized what it was. "That's wind!" he shouted, his little voice echoing in the tunnel. "That must be the way out!" The train crew heard him. They followed the direction his voice came from, and you know what they found? A small rock had fallen onto the track, and that's why the train had to stop. Working together, they moved the rock out of the way, and then Fei Fei heard the most wonderful sound. A low rumble started deep in the train's engine, and the train began to move again. Hong long, hong long. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. It moved faster and faster toward that little whispering sound. And with a final happy rumble, the train burst out of the dark tunnel and back into the most beautiful, warm, bright sunlight. Fei Fei blinked his eyes. He had done it. He had used his superpower to save the day. He wasn't just a passenger, he was a hero.
Fei Fei's adventure was so brave and so exciting, wasn't it? But his story is not quite over, because it teaches all of us a very, very important lesson that we need to talk about.
You see, Fei Fei is a rabbit from a storybook, so it was okay for him to go on an adventure by himself. But you are a real-life explorer, which is even better. And for real-life explorers, the most important rule is to be safe. That means you should always, always stay close to your parents or the grown-ups who take care of you when you're exploring. Think of them as your very own super locomotive, the strong and powerful engine at the front of your family train, always keeping you safe and sound on every single adventure you take together. Fei Fei discovered his superpower was his amazing hearing. His long ears helped him save the day. And you know what? Every single one of us has a superpower too. So I have a question for you. What is your superpower? Maybe you can run super fast, or maybe you tell the funniest jokes. Maybe you give the best hugs, or you can draw the most beautiful pictures. Whatever it is, that special thing is your superpower. Think about it for a little while and then go tell your grown-ups what makes you super. Thank you for sharing this story with me today. See you next time.